All right, Squirrely, you ready? Yes? It's a brand new unit. It's very exciting. She's staring at me. You gonna come up and sit in your chair and participate? What do you think? Yeah? You gonna participate? Okay. So today we're learning about sequences. So this is a pretty short unit and it's all about patterns. You like patterns, don't you? Yeah. If I do not come home at the appropriate time, you let me know. Particularly if you don't get food at the right time. All right, so let's take a look at sequences. We're going to start with recursive sequences. Now, this packet I have attached to this post, so you can print it out if you want to print it out. I may or may not be sending it on a bus run. We're not so sure. It'll be fun. Good luck. You could just take this on notebook paper. That would work too. What are you doing, squirrel? That is not edible. All right, focus. Sequences. This is all about sequences. Sequences is a list of numbers. So let's take a look at the sequence of numbers. It's 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, 17, and there might be some far out. We're not sure how far this sequence goes. Now, this guy, this 2, is our first number. Because this is the first number in the sequence, we call this A1. Guess what? 5 is the second number in the sequence. So any idea what we're going to call it, squirrel? She's got nothing. It's A2. And then we've got A3, A4, A5, and it just keeps going and going and going. Now, notice when I'm writing these numbers, it's below the letter. So, yeah, it's not like just A1. No. And it's not in the exponent. It's on the ground. And it's really tiny. It's called a subscript. I know, it's crazy, right? This would be a squared exponent. It's a little bit above the letter and it's small. But a sub 2, yeah, that's a subscript. And it's like a little below the letter and it's a little smaller. Now, this is going to keep going and going. We got A1, A2, A3, A4, A5. It's going to go all the way until we get to some AN. AN, yeah, that's our mark. That's our hope. We want to get to AN. AN is very important. Now, before we get to AN, we would have to be at AN minus 1. Good job, Squirrely. And then AN plus 1 would be after AN. She's so smart. She's caught right onto this. All right. Now, do we notice there is a pattern with this list of numbers? Very frequently, sequences will have a pattern. It's not just a random list of numbers, it's a pattern. Do we get the pattern, squirrel? Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. She does not know the pattern. Pattern is to add 3 each time. If you notice, 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 3 more is 8, plus 3 more is 11. So we are adding 3 each time. Now, if you were in elementary school, you would say add 3 and start at 2. Unfortunately, no. We are not in elementary school. We're in high school, Squirrely. So we have a grown-up way to write this. Yeah, we do. We have a very grown-up way to write this. First thing we need to do is we need to tell them where to start. Because if we just say add 3, they're going to start adding 3 to 0. I know, it doesn't start at 0, it starts at 2. We need to tell them that you don't start at 0, you start at 2. Yeah, so we have to say A1 equals 2. That's the first step. The second thing is we need to tell them what we have to do each time. So in order to get to AN, this guy right here, we would have to take whatever's here and do what to it? We would have to add 3. So we'd have to take AN minus 1, and we would have to add 3 to it. Good job, Squirrely. We would have to take the AN minus 1 plus 3, and we'd get to AN. Yeah, so that means that there are 2 lines, almost like our piecewise functions, but we don't have the squiggle brace there. No, we don't include a squiggle brace. It's just the 2 lines. And that is how we write out the pattern right there. It's very important. So you ready to try another example, Squirrely? Let's try this example. 4, 1, -2, -5, -8. You think you know what it is? What's our first 2 things we need to do? First, we tell them where to start, and then we have to tell them what to do to it. So we start at 4. Good job. What? No, we do not add 10. That's not true. What do we do? Yes, we subtract 3 every time. I'm sorry, it is very similar to the first one. So we subtract 3, we subtract 3 more, we subtract 3 more each time. So how are we going to write that? We take whatever was before, in order to get to AN, we got to take whatever was before AN, and we subtract 3 to that. Notice this piece is in the subscript. No, -3 is not in the subscript because we are subtracting -3. It's a very good question. All right, you ready for another one? Think you can handle it? Let's try another one. -8, -16, -32, -64. Okay. So then, we're going to start with A1, like always. A1 is -8. Good job. A sub n. What we have to do is we have to take A sub n minus 1, and what do we do to it each time? What do you think, Squirrely? What are we going to do to it? She's stumped. Because if I do this, that's subtracting 8, right? But if I subtract 8, will that work there? At this point, she's just gnawing on her pencil. She has no idea what to do. I know. It's scary. Well, in this case, you can't do adding and subtracting. In this case, they're actually multiplying by 2. So to take from here to here, times 2 times 2. So we're going to take this guy, we're going to multiply him by 2. I know. Didn't even see that coming, did we? That was insane. Let's try one more. Let's do 9, 3, 1, a third, a ninth, dot, 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 dot. We always start with A1. Got to tell them where to start. And then how to get to the next one. So what's our starting place, Squirrely Squirrel? Any idea? Nothing? Nothing. Our starting place is 9. 9 is our first number. And then how do we get from 9 to 3? To get from 9 to 3, well, we could subtract 6, but is that going to work? That's not going to work. Well, we've done a subtraction, we've done a multiplication, we've done an addition. We are missing. What are we missing, Squirrely? Don't look at me like that. Don't. That's not fair. Yes, we're missing division. Don't you look at me like that, you silly little squirrel. We are missing division, and we are going to divide by 2 each time? No, divide by 3 each time. Divide by 3, divide by 3. So in order to do this, we're going to do a Squarely off the tablet. You can't write on the tablet unless you have the pen. It's very important. So we do a sub n minus 1, and we divide it by 3. Yeah, I know. That doesn't look good, does it? Most people don't write it like that. Most people write it like we're multiplying by 1/3. Dividing by 3 is the same as multiplying by 1/3, right, Squirrely? Yeah. And sometimes, instead of saying divide by 3 or multiplying by 1/3, they'll just make it a fraction. They'll say take whatever it is and then put it over 3. Yeah, sometimes they write it like that. So you have to be aware that they will write this one in different ways, Squirrel, particularly when you go to sit for the Regents. I think you will be good on the Regents. She doesn't think so. The Regents is hard, particularly for a little squirrel. All right. Let's take a look at what happens if they give you the equation and then you have to deal with it. All right, so they've given us an equation. Let's take a look at what's going to happen. Well, we know what we have to start with because it told us where to start. The starting place is 11. And then to get from 11 to the next one, we have to add the 12. So 11 plus 12 is 23. In order to get from 23 to the next one, we have to go 23 plus 12, which is 35. And then 35 plus 12 is going to be 47. And then 47 plus 12 is going to be 59. And it's going to keep going and going and going. When is it going to stop, Squirrely? Is it ever going to stop? Who knows? Who knows? She is now spiraling into a deep sense of terror. Poor little squirrel. I knew this was going to be too heavy for her. I knew it. Anyway, so that's what happens. That is how we write these patterns that you started learning back in elementary school as a mathematician. As a mathematician, we have to write these patterns in a very specific way. And sometimes the pattern is written in a very specific way, and based on that pattern, we can come up, and based on the equation that it gave us, based on what it told us, we could come up with a list of numbers. So let's take a look at what the homework is. The homework, the front of the homework is determine the recursive formula that would create the following sequence. So we would have to say A1 equals and AN equals. For this one, A1 equals 0.1 and a n is a n minus 1, and then what am I doing each time? I'm adding 0.1, so plus 0.1. And I want you to try all of these, see if you can come up with the patterns on these. And then the back is all about, it gives you the pattern and then you have to figure out what the sequence of numbers is. It's working backwards. So it gave you the pattern and then you have to work backwards to see what that list of numbers was. And no, I'm not going to make you write all infinite terms. It says the first 5 terms. So write the first 5 terms. See if you can get the first 5. And you don't have to do 15 or 16. We're going to go over 15 or 16 because those two are particularly tricky. But the rest, I definitely want to see if you can handle. All right, that should be it for today's lesson. Welcome to a brand new unit. It's a very short unit, very straightforward. A lot of it is take those things that you learned in elementary school and now let's write them like a real math person. Thank you for tuning in and have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow.